What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk. Channel we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So in today's episode, I'm going to discuss why you should move out of your city in order to build wealth. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep putting it out, give you leverage to better yourselves. Let's get into it. So why do I say that you should move out of your city in order to build wealth? Well, at one point I thought about naming this video "Move Out of Your State," but there's plenty of states in the United States where there are cities, big cities, metropolitan areas where you can move to in order to build wealth. Now, you got to think about this from a logical perspective, right? So if you live in a small county or a small city where you barely have 1,000 people to live there, right? You have like one convenience store, like maybe like 2 main roads, and all these other things, right? That it's typical of a small town. You cannot, expect to build wealth or to get any type of job or even create a business that's going to generate a lot of revenue, right? Now, a lot of times folks will intentionally move to these areas, but commute to a bigger city or bigger area and then, work there and then commute back to a little small town for peace and quiet. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I live in a fairly nice, safe area in Virginia, and then I commute back and forth to DC for work, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But, going back to my personal example, like when I retired from the military about 5 years ago, actually going on about 6 years now, my whole goal was to move closer and closer to DC until I got to DC. And, lo and behold, about last year, about May of last year, I moved. I didn't move. I secured a job in DC. I've been here ever since, right? My commute is long, right? I'm not even going to front about that. But, the opportunity that I have here, it's no comparison, to what I had before. And don't get me wrong, like the DMV area as a whole, you know what I'm saying, like Northern Virginia, Maryland and DC, there's money all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no doubt about that, but I know in DC, I would have, the opportunity to make more money and to also have the connections, right? Quite honestly, I took a pay cut taking this particular job. But, when I factor in, bonuses and some of the other incentives they gave me, I pretty much almost like broke even with the job I had before. But, all in all, there's really no comparison to what I gained working here versus me staying where I was at before, right? And, for yourself, you really have to think about the demographics of where you live at. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't live in a metropolitan area, if you don't live in an area where like the average house doesn't cost like $350,000 to $400,000, then that may not be an area where you're gonna be able to build wealth. You're gonna be able to get a really good paying job. There's more rural areas from what I can tell in the States more than big cities. But you just got to get out of your comfort zone and just get out there and search and figure out what you're gonna do when it comes to being where you need to be at. I mean, being single, there's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you live in a small city, you live in a small county, or you live in the country, move. You know what I'm saying? Move and go to the city and start making money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no there's no debate about that when it comes to your opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you really want to work at a local Dollar General for the rest of your life? Which nothing's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not speaking ill will towards folks that do those type of jobs. But if you want to put yourself in a position to where you can make a lot of money and actually build and invest your money for wealth, then you need to move. You need to make a move. And I do understand there's a lot of folks that they want to stay married to a particular area, and they don't want to move. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of scared to change. Well, I don't know what to tell you about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you can build wealth without being and feeling uncomfortable at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not going too deep as far as like moving, but it's 2024. Inflation is real, and the rent is high in a lot of these places, and I know it's kind of difficult to make moves based off what kind of income you have. But if you can, put yourself in position to move and get, and if you can't move, then commute. whatever you need to do to get to a bigger city or to a bigger area where the job opportunities are more, you need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because staying in a small area where your average salary, whatever job you get, is like going to be less than 30,000. You're not doing yourself any favors. You know what I'm saying? Because this what they say is a recession is I don't believe in recessions, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of folks out there that's probably watching this video right now that are in a really bad state when it comes to how much money they make. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know how they're going to pay bills and all these other things. But if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how you're going to be able to do that, then you need to really, really consider moving. You know what I'm saying? I know moving costs money. I got that too, but, a lot of times it may be based off of your skill set, maybe based off of what kind of experience you have in order to move. But all in all, living in a small area, a small city, the country, the opportunities are just not there, y'all. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? I get it. There's plenty of small businesses that work in those areas, and you may have a convenience store that's local, or you may have a gas station that's local, or a food market that's local that it's probably doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But think about putting those particular same businesses in the middle of DC. There's no comparison. You know what I'm saying? These little small businesses around here are making a hand over fist money. Even with folks that, even with DC, like half of the folks in DC are working from home, these people are still making a lot of money around here. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, really consider about moving from your city in order to build wealth. You know what I'm saying? Because do your research. You know what I'm saying? Understand where you're going to move to first before you do that, right? But living in a small area where the opportunity is just not there for you to get a really good job, I don't know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? That's my only solution to it. Just move, get up out of there, move to a bigger city, find opportunity, and start making some real money. All right, like, comment, subscribe. All right, then keep putting these videos out. Keep it leverage. You better yourselves. Find it, finish, and folk. Triple F. I'm gone.